Why do I run? It's an excellent question. Yeah, why do I run? Lots of different reasons. I see Patrizia trying not to laugh there. I don't always take myself too seriously. I run because I like it. This is a simple answer. I always have done. I think the story I told a couple of times is about when I was at primary school. Running home from school one day. I remember looking at the ground and seeing that the dots on the ground looked like they were joining up, and that made me feel like I was running really fast, and I loved that feeling of speed and freedom. And I went home and I was so proud about it that I told my dad about it because I thought this was like a wonderful achievement. I think he was impressed as well, or at least he pretended to be impressed, but I just loved the feeling of it. And that's something that stayed with me. I'm not looking at the ground and watching the dots joining up, but I love having that feeling of speed. I love running downhill, especially. And yeah, that's one of the reasons. Another reason is like for my mental health. I feel for me it's like a kind of meditation. It's a place where I go out running for a long time on my own, and I have this feeling of being without distractions and just focusing on the moment, on my surroundings and my breathing, how my feet feel. And it's a great place for me to get away from things and to reflect and to think without being distracted.
Why do I run? It's a very good question. It's a question I get asked actually quite a lot. I'm actually very bad at explaining. There's something about the motion, the way the body is moving that speaks to me on some level. I can't really explain how. It feels like when I'm doing it, this is something I need to be doing, I have to be doing, and I enjoy doing. It doesn't have to be a particular kind of run. I can be running in a group, I can be running by myself in the woods somewhere completely alone. For me, it's the motion of running, I think, as it's in itself, that I really enjoy. The feeling you get when your foot touches the ground, oxygen in your lungs. Also the things you see on the way it kind of somehow focuses your mind while you're running. But there's lots of other things. Running's always been a social thing for me, ever since I first started. When I was at university, a friend of mine, a flatmate of mine at the time, a guy called James, if you're watching, hi. He was from Cornwall, really good cross-country runner, was looking for someone to join him on like weekend runs. I'd never really ran much at school, but whenever I did, I kind of enjoyed it and did okay. I did better at running than most other sports whenever I did it, so I thought, sure, okay, let's go out. That was kind of how I started running. We'd go out on a Sunday morning, usually a bit hungover still, and just run around the fields, the hills, the golf course that we had next to the university in Bath, and it was beautiful. It was like just a nice morning out in nature, chatting. I really enjoyed having someone else there as well to kind of share the experience with. So I think that's kind of stuck with me. And one of the other reasons I run, for now, it's also a big social thing for me. I can actually share something I enjoy with other people, go on the journey with them, if you like. And that's a huge reason why I was happy to do this with Andy, a friend that I knew incredibly well and got on really well with, that I felt much more comfortable doing it with him than I would have been if I'd done it by myself.